Okay, here's the finished Eduard Spitfire. At least it's as finished as I'm gonna make it, and I'm just gonna call it good. All right, we're gonna be moving through this really quickly here because that's the kind of video I felt like making. This is as much an exercise in video editing as anything else, as you can see from this cool fade to black. Clear gloss is from our friends at the people who make Future, or used to. It's also called Pledge Floor Gloss. Anyway, the secret to my being able to get a good finish with it using a brush is that I thin it with water. I put it in a bottle like that, maybe about a half an ounce in there, and then I squirt it with a couple of milliliters of water, distilled water. Here's my brush from Polyscale brush. Yeah, those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. Polyscale brush, big brush. Got to remove most of it from the brush because it's still going to paint up a storm no matter what. You got to get it out of the brush. It's just going to run off there. It's going to be like a trip to Niagara Falls. Okay, notice I'm putting it on there with a lot of energy. You got to scrub it on there. This is very different from painting, generally speaking. Okay, Eagle Strike provided some national insignia. I didn't like the ones that came with the Eduard kit. They're too purple looking. So I got the Eagle Strike decals, and here we are with the a lot of the decals have already been put in place. I'm just going to demonstrate quickly how I put one of these decals together that comes in several parts. This has become a trend. So they want you to do the lineup to get the registration right. Yeah, all the blame goes on the builder. So you have to take the decals that have been applied, let them dry, put on a coat. I think of it as a coat of micro sol. Micro sol works very well. You apply a coat to the decal. Some people have a difficulty with the concept of liquid that you brush on like paint. Right. Okay, so I'm giving you an idea here what this looks like. When the model is all glossed up like this and you're putting decals on it, the brush marks are going to be visible. The idea is that the flat coat gets rid of that. You can see the brush marks if you look very closely with electron microscope, but you're not going to see them unless it's been glossed up, and when they're glossy, you can see them pretty badly. And you can see that the dark earth is not that bad. It looks okay. It's not bad, but that middle stone color is just, I like that word, stodgy. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's stodgy. It's clumpy and gloopy and all the other dwarfs. So the first thing I do, once I've got that base decal on there and I've got that settled down with some microsol, and then I give it a coat of Future and then let it dry for a while. It's going to take a couple of days, so relax. Now you see what I did? I sneaked in there and put a little spit on there. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to, I want to keep this suitable for children, so I put a little spit on there with my finger. Then I get something to move that decal around with, and the best tool for that is this type of metal file. That is exactly what you need. I couldn't deal with decals until I discovered this metal file moves decals around magic. I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works. But you can put that decal anywhere you want it, as long as you have a metal file. Okay, here's our model completed with a bunch of decals. I mean, it's not completed, but it's got a bunch of decals on it. The decaling is complete. Now we're going to get into the flat coat. And the flat coat in my world is, again, it's Future, a.k.a. Pledge Floor Gloss, mixed with our dear friend Tamiya flat base. Now the flat base mixes with the future in a ratio of 2 parts future to 1 part flat base by volume. By volume. So you put it in a container, measure it that way. 2 to 1. 2 to 1. When you get it done, then you stir it up, and then you have to be really careful with it. You have to test it and make sure. Okay. I think now that we've had a look at this model, and we can see that it's completed, I'm going to have to make an announcement about future builds on this channel and about the future of this channel in general. I believe it's time for me to face the uncomfortable fact that the testers' products that I grew up with are gone. There's no way I'm going to be able to find something that's going to replace Polyscale. Paint just doesn't exist. There are some good products out there. There are a lot of new products for model painters coming on the market right now. Part of this is because of the Warhammer craze. Part of it is just because the model painting hobby is not quite as dead as may have been initially reported. But it is dying, especially in the USA. So I'm going to abandon my quixotic crusade to try to find the perfect replacement for Polyscale. There just isn't such a thing. Hataka was the best candidate. Hataka has simply proven to be not up to the job. So in the future, I'm going to be not making a huge deal out of the question of exactly what kind of paint I'm using. I do believe, though, that I'm going to be painting the next model with Tamiya paints, and maybe even the one after that. And Tamiya paints are still widely available, of course. But we don't know how much longer that's going to last. We don't know how much longer anything's going to last. Life is funny that way. I only recently discovered that Pledge Floor Gloss, aka Future, has now been officially discontinued, period. It's no longer available. That's another big blow to my vision for this channel. I believe that what it boils down to is model building should be fun. And I want to have a channel where I demonstrate what it's like to have fun doing this hobby. And that's not going to be spending all my time doing chemistry experiments, trying to get paint to work right. Just isn't going to happen. There is always the possibility that a new paint could come along that's identical to Polyscale. It could happen. But I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm just going to go ahead and paint. I'm going to do my thing. And from here on out, a lot of the entertainment value of this channel is going to be entertainment value. YouTube in general is very complex in terms of setting up a channel and figuring out what you want to do with it. You quickly find out that there's a real danger that the higher your production values get, the lower your quality gets. Maybe you may not understand what I mean by that, but it's possible to actually achieve the kind of quality and production values that you find on network television. And that almost guarantees that your product is going to be garbage. Just like network television. You can't please everybody. You can't provide something that's going to make everyone happy. And I am coming to the realization that I cannot save the world. Can't save the world from airbrushes, can't save the world from bad brush painting. All I can do is go on here and put on a show. So I hope you'll join me next time. Check out this link I'm going to provide here, which will be to the video about post shading. See you later.